Okay. So basically with this gnome, the red strawberry was so hard. It took me, I think, 5 coats. And I didn't even think about putting a yellow down or anything first, which I should have, but I've asked around. I asked my mentor, she said, anytime you have a red base product like this, if you put do like a yellow, like she said, she usually uses primary yellow because that's the actual, solid primary color. So if you do yellow first and then paint your red, it will only usually take 1 or maybe 2 coats in some spots. Like, how hard the Santa was, the Mr. and Mrs. Santa took so many coats. Yeah. So if we had done, the red or the yellow ahead of time before we put the red down, it would have saved us so much paint. So
I tested it yesterday.
yeah, I saw that I didn't get a chance to test it, but did you have a preference over which yellow you thought worked the best? So I thought we would start with the royal fuchsia over the top. We're gonna dry brush over the top of the hat and over all this pink color. And this one has white in it, so it's gonna cover a lot better. It's not gonna be so transparent, so. And I'm gonna use the big brush, the number 14 that I have. So this is a pretty smooth surface. We wanna make sure we get almost all that paint off that brush. It's definitely gonna take some time, so I thought, depending on how long this takes, I might just do dry brush the front. And then you guys can work on the back and the homework, by tomorrow. And Thursday will be the next class. This one's so tall, it's really hard to get my camera at a good angle so you can see everything that I'm doing. So I just created the makeup class for the Santa and Mrs. Claus, June the 6th, I think, or June the 4th. I don't know. It's like the first Monday in June. So I'll send out an email tomorrow, but just letting you guys know since a couple of you are in that class. Man, this is gonna take forever, and my arm's tired already. I haven't painted for a couple weeks. I haven't dry brushed. I've just been like trying to hurry and get all this stuff base coated. It looks pretty bright in this light. It doesn't look this fluorescent and for real. I don't know why it looks so fluorescent in this light. Steph, where did you get your piece from? Did you have the mold? You have the mold yourself, or where did you get your gnome from? Did you get it from Trixie? No. Okay. So these gnomes are so popular, it's crazy. All right. It might not take that. It might just take 1 coat of dry brushing this royal fuchsia over the top of this because I don't want to take away too much. I really want that dark the dark pink under there, so. And this is dry brushing a little bit better than I expected. We should be able to do the back too, I think. I'm so afraid my attachments are gonna come off because I had to glue the sign on, so I don't want to get out of the camera angle here, but. So this top color is kind of meant to be like, just like an accentuation of the underneath color. Like I want a lot of that underneath color to show through. You know, I don't want to, like, normally I would cover it up pretty well. I would do like a couple coats of this lighter color over the top. But I don't really want to take away too much of that strawberry color, so I'm just gonna leave it with one coat. Just make sure I get some of those uneven spots where that color is a little transparent still, and just try to cover those up pretty well. It was really awkward to move this guy around. Yeah, this brush is working really well on this hat. I don't know if you guys have one of these number 14 brushes. But this works really nicely on, and even though it's smooth. Might have to use a little bit of a smaller brush to get up underneath some of the hat a little bit. Don't want to get that on the daisy. This is going to be a daisy, not a sunflower. Unless you guys want to make yours a sunflower, you totally can. Forget the top of this, the top of the hat too. Get the side on the front. Hey, how are you guys doing? You feel comfortable working on the back too? Or you gonna wanna do more than one coat? And this is like really some serious elbow work. Right, I just work on my front, 'cause there's no way I can do that all night. I've been painting all day long. I painted that whole Thanksgiving, I mean, the whole sunflower baby set today, I base coated it. So I've been painting since like 7 this morning. I'm tired. My elbow can't do too much of this dry brushing tonight. That's such a big space, so I'm going to scooch down to my little beard here. I might do a second coat on that royal fuchsia. I don't know. So we're just basically gonna hit this one time on just the pink part. Gonna add our highlights on here. I mean, you can just mix the two colors, or you can do like a solid line. I kind of just mixed my two colors together. But
On a
Renee,
plate.
didn't you do a solid line on yours? Didn't you do a solid line on your beard? When you put the lighter color over the top, it's gonna kind of blend that out anyways. Over the pink onto the green. It doesn't have to be exact, we're just kind of blending those colors together. I went down a little bit farther than I probably should have, but okay. And you can leave a little bit more of the royal fuchsia on your brush when you're doing the beard, because it's so textured. I've been really excited about this guy. I mean, I'm excited about every project we do, but I was really bummed to have to miss this first class, because really been looking forward to this one. I just think it's gonna be so cute. And then we're also gonna just do a light coat of this over the top of the shoes. I feel like you don't really have to do as much dry brushing on this guy, because all these colors really go well together. So they can kind of be a little bit more transparent than the other ones. Hard to get in here and still keep the camera, so you can see what I'm doing. Wouldn't think this hat would be so difficult to get in there. It's pretty hard to get up underneath there. I have to really get a smaller brush, but might have to go back over it with another coat, just with a smaller brush in some of those spots. I'm kind of on the fence about on the beard. I was thinking that I would do white over the top of these, the pink and the green, once we got the highlights on there. I guess we'll just wait and see how it looks, and then if you guys think we should dry brush white over the top, I just think it would really pop. It would pull the white from the flower and to the a little bit more white. Well, and I guess if you choose, you know, like you don't want to do that last part, you don't have to, you know. If you decide you really like it, just with that, without the white, that'd be okay too. So. I definitely got too much paint on my brush here. It's always the trick with those smooth surfaces. Close. Yeah, this thing was very difficult to paint with this sign. I don't know if you guys had a hard time. I think Renee, you said you had a hard time. I had a really difficult time all through here. And Elizabeth told me that she's gonna fire them separate and glue them on after she fires them, because they don't stay on really well when you have to attach them, she said. So I think there's probably a learning curve to some of these bigger gnomes where they have multiple things that you can attach to them, you know, interchangeable. So I think it'll definitely get better as they pour more. Why does this hurt my elbow so much tonight? Oh, too much painting today. Ah, you guys, I'm trying so hard to get back into it. Like, please be patient with me. But before I mean, I've got a pretty good little coat on here, just one. If you guys want to do more than one, but I think I'm pretty okay with just a one good solid of the light. But I still want to, I want to add a little bit of white to this brush so that I can put the highlight on the top. So let's just do that really quick. Back of this foot. Because it'll be a lot easier if we dry brush the highlights on. It'll take a lot less time too, so. I'm just gonna put a little bit of white. I'm not mixing anything. I'm just literally just put like a tiny little drop of white right here, and I'm just gonna mix it in my brush. We want to keep the dark underneath. So we're just touching the top of the shoe here. So really you should have like 3 shades of royal fuchsia on the feet. You know, the one you started with, your lighter, your royal fuchsia on the top, and then your lighter with the white. Then you'll come back up here, the hat on the top. We're just gonna make the top of our hat just the slightest lighter shade here. I'm definitely gonna have to add more white to my brush. So just on the tip top, we're gonna do a little bit of highlight. So kind of like sweep down the side. We're still doing that ski jump motion where we're kind of pulling the brush off when you pull down like this. But you want to follow the natural shape of the hat. Okay, and then also just right on the like the tops of these curvatures of the hat. We want a little highlight there. Same thing right here. Now you can make these pretty strong highlights because then the lighter you make it, the more round and shapeness you're gonna achieve. So I want some pretty drastic highlights here. Same thing with down here on the tip of this hat where it bends here. This is gonna be highlighted. Now, if this was real watermelon, you know, it would have lots of white highlight on it. So don't be afraid to really add some to get in there with that highlight and really just make that pop, because it's got a lot of dimension here in the shape of this, the bend of this hat, so you can really do a lot with this. And obviously we'll be able to do a lot more with the pastels once we get to that part, but. And then I probably would just hit like the middle part of the hat with a highlight on the mid base. So just here in the front. Okay.